Welcome everybody to our semifinal round of our March Madness Bourbon Bracket Single Barrel Edition, brought to you by nobody. I'm doing this on my own. This is Blanton's Gold going up against Stagg Store Pick. The winner of this will go up against C&B from Russell's Reserve in the championship round. But who do you guys think is going to win? Pause right now and let me know in the comment section below. Let's pour these up and let's see who's going to win strictly off taste. We've got A over here, and this is actually an O in case anybody's collecting these. But we have A over here, and that's going to go in glass A over here. And of course, our Stagg Store Pick is going to be B, which will be in glass B over here. We need to mix these up, so we're going to get our trusty Whiskey Wisdom wheel here and spin these up. Now listen, while these are spinning, I gotta be honest with you, 130 something proof versus 103 proof, I think we're gonna be able to tell the difference, but that's just me. Of course, we're doing this strictly off taste, so let's talk about these bottles a little bit, but we've already talked about them enough. Make sure you check out my other videos to catch up to this particular series. Everybody knows, time for the traditional sip. Cheers, y'all. It's gotta be the Blanton's Gold. Now this is where things get a little bit weird with this competition because I've already talked about these bottles. You know everything you need to know about these bottles. You know the taste profile, you know the proof, you know the mash bills. As far as I know, you know everything about these particular bottles. If you don't, go back and watch the videos prior to this. But for me, I've got to come up with new things to tell you about these bottles. And the best thing about that is every night that you drink them, you kind of get something a little bit different. And for me, on this particular glass, I got the word soft. And I don't mean soft in a bad way. I mean soft in you just finished a 13-hour shift and you put your head down on a pillow and you want something soft. This is what you're going to want to sip on. And stick with me now because soft isn't always a bad thing, right? We're about to drink something that's 136.4 proof versus 103 proof, and soft is sometimes what you're looking for. The flavor profile on this is fantastic still. I already told you all about that, but I will say this does seem a little bit soft to me. It's a little bit easier on the mouth. It's a little bit easier when it comes to the mouthfeel. No real big ethanol kick, but this glass right here, still delicious, but soft. This is going to be tough because I literally just did the Russell's Reserve single barrel, the C&B, and I did that up against my Fiddler pick. And I will say, the Fiddler pick was the higher proof. The higher proof lost. The Nash Tucky was the higher proof. The higher proof lost. This Stagg is going to be the higher proof. And this bottle right here could very well beat this because this bottle does drink hot. It's going to. Compared to this at 103 proof, at 136.4 proof, it's going to drink hot. And I don't know if the hot is always going to win this battle because so far it's 0 for 2. Actually, Fiddler won and also Stagg over Old Forester. So it's 2 for 2, I guess. But that's still 50%. Thought it was going to be hotter. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I'm not sleep deprived right now, but I haven't slept that much recently. We're back to work. We've still got videos to make. It's March Madness. The Flyers are making a push for the playoffs. Phillies are starting. Joel Embiid's supposed to come back soon. I got a lot going on in my life, okay? So don't hold me to it, but I will say, sleep deprived or not, this glass right here does not drink 136 proof. It's so sweet too. You guys know I love a sweet whiskey. This particular bottle is super sweet. And I didn't even think about this, but we're talking Buffalo Trace versus Buffalo Trace. Mash Bill 1 versus Mash Bill 2. Which one's going to hold up? Which one's going to win? By the way, in case you didn't know, Mash Bill 1, Mash Bill 2, this is the lower rye mash bill, this is the higher rye mash bill, which if you had to ask me blind, if I would have guessed it that way, I wouldn't. But maybe it's the ethanol kick that's giving me that spice versus the actual rye, but 10% versus 15%, I don't know. What's high rye, what's low rye these days? I mean, I thought maybe, just maybe, these high-proof whiskeys were going to be held back by that proof compared to something that's so easy to drink. But this glass right here, I mean, there's no way I would blind this at 136 proof. Right as I say that, I'm going to follow it up with, this doesn't drink like 103 proof. The more and more I drink 136 proof, the more and more this tastes like 90 proof. So proof-wise, I mean, they're both right there when it comes to drinkability. Here's the tough thing for me. These two kind of complement each other, right? I drink one, then I drink the other, and one's spicy and one's sweet, and one's hot and one's not, and 103 versus 136. And if this was blend again, I would just put these two in a bottle together and I would send it to Jason at the Mash and Drum, and I would probably win. I don't know what the rules are. It's got to be more than that, but this is very good when it comes to complementing each other. That being said, I got to pick one strictly off of taste, and I don't know which one that's going to be. Here's what I'm going to say. When I did the last round, it was CMB versus Fiddler, right? Fiddler was something that I found myself, I wanted to reach for that in a specific occasion. Like I needed to be in the mood for Fiddler. It's still delicious, but I needed to be in the mood for it. These two particular glasses, I could drink these anytime, any day, just like I could with the CMB, which makes this so much harder. The question becomes, does the ethanol kick make up for it when it comes to the actual flavor profile? Or do I like that lower proof with just as much flavor? And I still don't know the answer to that. I can't remember if I said this last round or not, but there's a honey note on this, which I absolutely love. First of all, it doesn't only translate to the flavor profile that I love with that sweetness, but it translates into that mouthfeel, that viscosity that I truly love. But let's get into this. We got a little bit more than I would like, but a lot left. Up until this very moment right here, and I know you guys don't want to hear this, but I know this is the Stagg. I mean, there's no way that this isn't the Stagg, but I will say, up until this very moment right here, I was leaning Stagg the entire time. That last sip, though, I think the tables have turned. I think I'm onto this glass right here, but we're going to finish this off and we're going to give you a final answer right after this. This is the closest battle that we've had so far. Up until this point, I mean, let's go through it real quick. CNA versus CMB was obviously close, but I think CMB kind of pulled that out without question. Michter's versus Fiddler, it was Fiddler the entire time. Stagg versus Old Forester, I mean, it didn't really stand a chance. Blanton's Gold versus Nash Tucky, I think was another close one, but Nash Tucky just drank a little bit hot. This doesn't drink hot. But for some reason, I feel like I'm leaning towards the Blanton's Gold, assuming this is the Blanton's Gold. Something about this glass, it's really freaking good. And I'm a big fan of Stagg, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's too hot. The drinkability on this is fantastic, but for some reason, I'm just leaning back towards this glass over here. This is harder than I thought it was going to be, but I will say our winner is going to be, it's going to be the Blanton's Gold. Assuming this is the Blanton's Gold, let's flip this over, and it is, this is A. So it's going to be Blanton's Gold. Listen, both of these are fantastic pours, but the Stagg over here just doesn't live up to what Blanton's Gold has to offer me. I could drink this every day of the week. Again, this is something that I have to reach for. It's the same thing with the Fiddler versus the CMB, and I'm excited to see CMB versus Blanton Gold going up against each other in this championship round. But in the meantime, make sure you check me out on Instagram at Bourbon of the Week. Go click that follow button over there. Check out our Patreon page and our Discord. Both those links in the description below. Please don't drink and drive. Always drink responsibly. Stay healthy, stay happy. Stay trying Blanton's Gold against Stagg because you never know who's going to win. Cheers, y'all.